It's November and I am a little bit sick. I will be as enthusiastic as possible, but I'll be drinking ginger tea throughout this whole review.
Don't put the tea on your MacBook.
All right, okay.
Yes.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I have to be very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
What's good, everybody, and welcome back to Hyperfocus. My name's Paul, and this is Jan.
Hi.
And today we are going to be discussing a rebrand. Well, no, not actually a rebrand.
A refresh.
A refresh of a household best practice rebrand.
Brand refresh.
Brand refresh that I'm sure many of you have used as a best practice and love immensely as we do, and that is Mailchimp.
Yes. And yeah, people might wonder, hey, Mailchimp, they just did a rebranding 2 years ago, or actually 3 years ago, or even 4 years ago. But just to give you a little introduction to that, the Creative Boom magazine, they just released the biggest trends in graphic design 2020 for 2020 and gave their predictions. And the trend number 1 is brands in motion.
But I don't believe that is a trend for 2020. Maybe it is, but it's a trend that has definitely been around for quite some time. It's something that we've discussed at length on many occasions. So I'm quite surprised that it is the trend for 2022. But
yeah, maybe
who am I to argue?
Maybe for the people who still design
static
catalogs or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, what are they saying in this prediction? Whether you are walking past a digital billboard, scrolling through a website, or navigating an app, we see more and more motion design at the moment. And most people in the profession believe this can only be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
We believe so too, I think. Yeah, I mean, the reason why is with the constant introduction of fresh and innovative digital platforms, brands are finding new ways of living online. This has opened up new possibilities of engaging with customers through motion and animation. A better way to approach storytelling.
So this is all through Boom, right?
Yeah, that's the part of their text, yeah.
Okay, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's true, but as you said, we've seen that like the last couple of years, there's the brands in motion becoming more and more a topic.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, just to say, we are seeing, there's a trend in illustration, and this year there was a trend in 3D as well, and it's just ripe for the picking to actually bring these things to life and start to animate them. They give a much more engaging, richer storytelling aspect to them, which I think brands can really engage and really play with. We saw that earlier in 2021 with the Burger King, and I think Burger King probably, because of such a high level and high profile client and campaign, I think that really kind of set the ball rolling. Brands were doing it before, but now bigger brands are kind of playing catch up, I think, and maybe there's a bit of inspiration from bigger brands like Burger King actually doing that in such, with such high exposure.
Yeah. So, Mailchimp. Just briefly introduction. Mailchimp is one of the most popular email campaign and marketing delivery systems. Established in 2001, and then, as we said, there was the big rebranding by Collins in 2018. It was like a great redesign, like a milestone. This identity is led by an expressive library of hand-drawn illustrations and this really bold yellow and black color palette. So it has this really authentic feel to it, like very unique, and there's also this little weirdness in everything they do, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely, but they still have Freddy the Chimp. Yes.
Yes, Freddy the Chimp is
still up there, even though I think with the rebrand they experimented a lot with different types of illustrations. But Freddy the Chimp He's always stayed true and always stayed present.
He's still there, yeah. So they realized it is great for print and out of home advertising, but like the design they're using at the moment, it's not scalable for digital assets like videos, digital advertising, and social media stuff. So they hired like the agency. So if you're talking about brands in motion, then I think there's one studio around, which is Dia Studio, who are well known for actually building brand and graphic design with this kinetic approach to it. Yeah, so they build kinetic identities, they actually call it. Yeah?
I think they actually put the actual word kinetic on the map, to be honest. I think they've definitely identify themselves or are connected with the whole idea of kinetic type.
Yeah.
Amazing agency.
Great. Yeah. So Dia Studio is run by Mitch Pawnee.
Pawnee.
Pawan.
Pawnee. Then we did some research, right? Is Italian? Is that right?
Pawnee.
The name's Italian.
Pawnee.
Okay.
I don't know if he might have Italian roots. Anyway.
Italian roots.
So he's also a jazz musician and a type designer, but I think most of the time he runs Dia Studio. He also teaches at the Art and Design School in Geneva and the Royal Academy of Art in The Hague. And they have studios in NYC and Geneva.
Nice. How big are they then?
I don't know how many people working there, but they have 2 studios.
All right, wicked.
I don't know.
All right, nice.
One studio is maybe 10 people, and the second studio maybe 15. Maybe they have 50. I don't know. So let's have a quick look on their latest show reel. They have, great stuff. As we said, I mean, they're like really the pioneers of kinetic type, kinetic branding, and everything is moving around what they do.
No, it's amazing stuff. I mean, I don't know if I would have, as Mailchimp, if these would have been the first company that I thought could actually realize Mailchimp.
Yeah.
Because,
true.
I mean, yeah, Mailchimp is very playful, of course, but Mailchimp is not necessarily cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool, but
it's cool, but not cool. Like, this is really like kind of next level. I mean, I can see them definitely working with Nike, but Mailchimp is a much more kind of grounded, down-to-earth brand.
It's also is a lot of black and white and a lot of grotesque fonts, and Mailchimp is a bit more playful and bold colors, and then they also have a serif font they're using. Maybe that's why you wouldn't think it's like the perfect fit right from the beginning.
But let's see what they did with it.
Yeah, so Dia Studio, they had to work with the existing brand strategy and then convert this branding into a flexible design system that could function seamlessly across all of Mailchimp's touch points. But bringing this Dia signature kinetic approach into the whole thing. So
there he is.
Freddy the
Chimp. Yeah, it's nice.
So, yeah, I mean, this might seem pretty basic, but it's definitely new. So they have this psychedelic animation which is built out of the shape of Freddy's head, which we will see later on a bit more. So, yeah, so the refresh work is inspired by Freddy, and we will see why in a few moments. Providing a personality through a graphic line, rounded shape, language, playful color palette, and a memorable bouncing behavior. Yeah, so here is like actually everything in action, the whole thing.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, like the Burger King stuff, it seems like, I mean, nobody's really been talking about this, about a retro vibe. Like we're talking about motion being trendy in 2022, but I can definitely see that there is some connection or some kind of influence from the 70s, which is actually something quite new for me. I've not really seen that playing out over a lot of different rebrands before. Definitely 90s vibe, 80s vibe, but never like this kind of 70s style. And I think it's pretty interesting to see, especially with the typography as well, and the reflection of this kind of very charismatic motion being played out. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, definitely some psychedelic vibe to it. I just have to. You remember this when back in the days when we designed skateboards? We had this book with the posters, the festival,
the Woodstock
posters.
Yeah, for sure.
Like something. I mean, it's the outlines and also the color palette. I think.
Yeah.
Also the typography together with it.
Maybe we've just been around too long. Maybe that could be it.
Yeah. So they had to deliver a motion-based toolkit. They delivered functional design guidelines and everything to empower Mailchimp's team to implement this whole language as simple and consistent across all platforms as possible. Yeah, so here's another overview. So we see they created these shapes, also different kind of shapes, but all these rounded corners, very bubbly kind of frames for the images, and everything is moving, huh?
But I think what we see here is like, and I think this is one thing that you should always take into consideration when we're talking about motion, is that motion should be used sparingly. Like this will not be played out across their website and on everything. I think this is much more for kind of like pitch deck or subtle animations that are used within places. This is definitely not going to be used on the UI. Like if you had animation like this on a website, it would drive you absolutely crazy, for sure. So I think this is just to kind of help to emphasize, to help to grow and build the brand, to take it, another level deeper when it comes to the representation or the storytelling of the brand. But this definitely, I can't see this playing out across everything. It would just be really, really too much. But in moderation, I think this is very, very cool.
Yeah, and also thinking about digital advertising. I mean, here also in Hamburg outside, you see more and more like this digital advertising screens where they're not moving crazy, but you always have like slightly little animations, and that's great that you can build with the way you animate something, like the way things move. That's actually part of your brand identity. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Becoming more and more important.
Yeah.
But also one point you should not forget is also, I think it's definitely more expensive to develop something like this. Yeah, it's just different. Like the workload is just different if you have a static brand identity compared to a moving thing like this.
Yeah. But I think a static brand identity doesn't cut the mustard these days. You need to have an element of motion.
Yeah.
Even if it's just how you're creating a logo or the typeface that you're thinking about using, like what the transitions and the interactions are with the assets that you choose to actually build your brand. You need to think about them, how you interact and how you move with them. Again, even from a micro level, it becomes even more and more important. So what we normally do, and if you've seen our videos before, is we will score what we have just seen. This is one of the first times that we've actually sat down and discussed this. So neither of us know what each other are going to score. But I already have in my mind, from going through this, an idea of what I would like to propose as my score. So maybe I should go first.
All right, go on.
All right, so I think, as a whole, Mailchimp has always been very, very brave and very pioneering, and they push forward their ideas. And I think that is a testimonial to a great, bold and inspiring company, and the fact that they chose to work with Dia, who are very much out there, says a lot for the brand. And I think brands should take a leaf out of their book and really be brave, and especially this time, this day and age, you need to think about different media landscapes and how things play out, especially when trying to create rich storytelling with your brand. And they've definitely done it. I mean, we only seen a little bit, but the fact that they're moving forward and trying to do this kind of thing, I take my hat off to them. I think it's a really, really great start, and it really says a lot for the brand. And we all know Mailchimp and how great they are at developing tone of voice. It's always been a best practice for us, and I'm sure for a lot of creators out there. And you really see what they created really playing out in the design here. So, with that said, with my gruff, ill voice after drinking so much ginger tea, I would give them a 8.
All right.
Yes.
So my point of view on that is, so what I really like about this in general, because they just did the rebranding in 2018, and instead of waiting for 5 or 10 years and then doing something completely different, they actually have this approach, and it's kind of a living brand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So instead of rethinking everything, they're improving the brand constantly, and you can see this here. So the main identity is still there. Yeah, you can still see, this is Mailchimp. It doesn't look like completely different, but they keep on improving it, and make it animated, make it just more playful and interesting to watch. And also, so you can use it on all touch points now, which is great. Second point, where it's like a little critique. So I think they developed this new outliney psychedelic kind of look. I'm not sure how this goes together with the illustration, because they're still using the illustration that they developed, which is a bit more organic, more natural. Mm-hmm. I think they will improve on the illustrations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so bring it more together. Like Airbnb, for example, they always keep on working on the illustration. That's a little critique, but overall, I like the approach. I think it's a good step forward in the evolution of the brand, and that's why I give it an 8 too.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Again, we've scored the same. This is definitely a running pattern. It means at least we are thinking alike somehow. Maybe we need to be a bit more controversial at some point, but the brands dictate that. So I think that just about wraps things up for this episode. But I would like to say, if you have reached this point in the video, we'd like to say thank you very much and put our thumbs up. And if you would, please hit that like button as well. It really helps us to grow the channel and continue to make content like this. If you've not subscribed, subscribe so you can stay up to all the latest drops of content that we create. And yes, we will, hopefully without ginger tea and a gruff voice, see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.